Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few moments with me here on SML TV. That was copyright-free music, I must tell you. Because, you know, in this day that we live in today, you play anybody's music, they call you up and say, hey, or Facebook sends you a note and they say to you, excuse me, Mr. Mwera, you can't play that music, okay? And it affects your monetization. I didn't even know this. I didn't know that when you play copyrighted music and you do not have the permission to do so, guess what? It's a strike against your page. We are still somebody. We don't know these things, okay? Hello, everybody. Just a few shout outs before we begin, and I won't keep you long. I will try to keep this as confined as possible within 25, 30 minutes max, okay? All right, here we go. Othello Romeo, hello to you. Thank you so much. You know, one of the challenges I'm having, especially when I do these live broadcasts, the thing that I'm struggling with, I need to put this light in front of me. You see, when you're a one-man show, I'm a light, I'm the light guy, I'm the sound guy. Look at this, the light's not even in its place. Hello. Okay, here we go. And what was I saying? When I get to my age, you forget what you're saying. What I'm discovering now as a vlogger, as a podcaster, as a broadcaster here online, you constantly have to worry about what to wear. This is causing me some discomfort. So this is what I've decided to do. Anytime I go to court, I'm going to dress appropriately. I'm going to wear, you know, brand new shirts, brand new ties, nice suits, because this is what you guys want. You're constantly railing against me. Many of you are constantly dissing me, talking about how in the world can you wear those shoes in that suit? Who do you think you are? You know, things like that. I'm trying to avoid that. Secondly, when I do my podcasts, what I've decided to do is that I'm going to start wearing a uniform, meaning I'll have two colors. I'm going to have a plain sort of cream color or khaki, okay? Long sleeves, because, you know, I hear that, you know, being a short-sleeved person on camera is it's not a good idea. This is what they tell me. I don't know these things, okay? I'm still learning. Secondly, I'm going to be wearing a white shirt with my SML TV logo located right here. See, that way I don't have to worry about wearing things that match. I don't have to worry about, you know, is my tie matching my shirt? That is an aggravation. Who needs the pressure of looking great all the time? Okay, that didn't come out right. Okay, not that I'm a great looking guy. What I'm saying is, who needs that pressure of constant? Listen, I'm not Pastor Jimmy. Okay, have you seen Jimmy? Jimmy's always looking sharp. He's sharp and suave and debonair. That's not me. Okay, I'm just a guy. I turn on the lights, my camera, boom. We say what we have to say, and then we leave. Okay, all right. Okay, a few shout outs to you guys. Hello, indeed. Hello, I'm looking for a message here. Good morning. This is Johnson Wadia. Johnson Wadia. Good morning, Brother Mwera. Good morning to you, Brother Johnson. Thank you so much for being with me. All right, let's get into it. I wanted to bring this to you because, you know, this is something that constantly, you know, I'm constantly amused at this and also disappointed in a sense. And it's this. As many of you know, the local authority launched an exercise to get rid of the booths in town because they were unsightly. They were unregulated. The booths were in the way, basically. And it created an atmosphere of clutter. Do you know this word, clutter? Do you know what clutter is? In fact, let me throw it up there for you so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. and it's a very common word. And what it means is disorganization. This word clutter, it just means changanya. That's the word I would use in my language. Changanya is clutter. You know, there's a tall booth, a short booth, a booth that's got red oxide, a booth that's bright red, one that's dim green. You know, it was just a hodgepodge of a mess. The local authority decided that it's time to take control and take ownership of the city. And this is the beginning. And of course, I do not speak for the government. You know this. I'm a private citizen. The only thing is, I happen to love this city. I love Lusaka only because I was born here and because this is my homestead. This is where I live. And so I have adopted this mantra of this is my city, this is my responsibility. So we should get rid of the clutter. So in an attempt to get rid of the clutter, what the local authority has done is that they have gone on this exercise to get rid of these booths. Now, unfortunately, some members of the political fraternity have decided to politicize this effort. Let's not forget, okay, let me give you some backstory. Let's not forget that a few years ago, President Lungu launched a similar effort. This was in the face of cholera. This was back when we had the problem of cholera, and Ministry of Health and the local government at that time, local government and housing at that time, along with Lusaka City Council, sat with President Lungu and said to President Lungu, if we don't get rid of the street vendors, our people are going to begin to die like flies. Bakula fwangaba lunshi. And therefore, President Lungu made the very unpopular decision of getting rid of all the street vendors in the CBD. You remember, the CBD was a ghost town for a while. Nobody could come in, nobody could sort of conduct business. I was here. I recorded that whole event. And I remember all of the stands, all of the street vending stands were uprooted and removed and taken. I mean, piles and piles and piles of wood that were brought in the middle of Lumumba Road and then subsequently transported to Chunga dump site, and they were subsequently burnt there. All of that was in an effort to push back against the wall of cholera. And there were many people that knew that if we didn't do this, our people would die. Nobody politicized that because it was a death and life situation. Nobody politicized that, okay? In the same vein, by the same token, this exercise of getting rid of the booths segues into the issues of health. Because the booths, as you know, were a catalyst. They were the bastion of filth, imisu, urine, feces. Those are the bastions. That is the catalyst of disease. Now, what this government is trying to do is not only stave off a culture of filthiness, a culture of filth. Not only are they trying to push back against that, but they're also trying to introduce the culture of orderliness. Now, I got to tell you, and I posted this earlier, progress is a brief inconvenience. That's the reality of it. I mean, we live in a world, not everything is peachy keen and hunky-dory. Sometimes when you make tough decisions, you make the tough decisions, okay, in order to attain a certain goal. This is the first step in reclaiming our city. I'm hoping, I'm praying, and I know that this is the way to go. If you're going to do something all the way. Don't do anything half-baked. If you're going to do it, do it. So this is the first step, the removal of the booths and then a reintroduction of a more streamlined, regulated industry. Okay, once we do that, then the local authority should, and now remember, I'm not speaking on behalf of the government, I'm just telling you what I think should be done. From there, they should now move to the issue of street vending, because guys, the truth is you can never have a clean city with street vending. It's simply not possible. We move our people into the markets, into the markets where they have access to clean water, toilets, shelter, where they have access to participating in the economy. All of those things happen in the markets. The streets are not designed for that. The filter lanes are not designed for that. Okay, let's be straight about that. Now, let me bring you now up to speed. It is a sad day in Zambia when you've got politicians like Miss Edith Nawakwi who decide to politicize this thing. She's in the news. She said in the news that the UPND is the most heartless, the most insensitive, the most incompetent government in the history of Zambia because they've decided to remove the booths. Really, Miss Nawakwi? Really? Now, Nawakwi, both you and I know good and well that's not true. Both you and I know good and well that you are simply trying to milk this thing for what it's worth. You are trying to politicize an effort that will benefit the entire city. Listen, this is about the city winning and us winning. It shouldn't be either or. Are you hearing that? Let me say that again. It should not be either or. It should be a win-win situation. It is possible. It is feasible. It is absolutely attainable for the city to be organized, to be clean, at the same time for our people to make a living. Who says it has to be filth and a source of income? Because that's what you guys are advocating. Do you know that? Imweba Edith Nawakwi nabanenu, by Edith Nawakwi and her homeboys, you are advocating for you. What you're saying basically to the Zambian people, you're saying, no, we don't want cleanliness. We want as long as our people are gaining an income, as long as our people they have a source of livelihood. That livelihood, even if they are squatting in squalor, even if they are sitting in a disease-prone environments, it's okay. As long as they are getting some money. That's chaotic. That's foolishness. That's ridiculous. That's archaic. It's foolish. I'll share with you something that someone from Rwanda told me. And I've shared this with you many times. I'll share it with you again. And I love to tell this story because it is so indicative of where I think we ought to go as a nation. Okay? And it's this. I was speaking, this was last year. I think it was early last year. I had a business meeting with some guys from Rwanda, and they were staying at the Pamadzi Hotel. And we spoke about many things. We talked about the genocide. We spoke about so many different things about Rwanda. And one of the questions I'd asked them was, tell me in very simple terms, how did you do this? How did you come from a country that was steeped in hell? I mean, literally, it was 100 days of blood-soaked hell. How did you come from that to be the country that you are now? One of the cleanest, if not the cleanest country in the world. Sure, you have a leader that's been there a long time, but he has a vision for his country. And his country, Rwanda, is what it is today because of leadership and because the people understand his role of leadership. You know what these guys said to me? And somebody else said this to me here on Facebook as well. He said, in order for you guys to achieve a clean environment, the whole government has to be on board. And the entire citizenry has to be on board. And you have to be consistent. So in other words, you can't decide to do it today and then 6 months down the road, you just forget about it. That has been one of Zambia's biggest problems is consistency. Consistency tatwaishiva. What we say and do now is different from what we say and do 3 months from now. I mean, look at town. You know, when we hear that the police have they've launched an exercise to get rid of illegal parking of buses on the main street so that they can open the street for commerce and vehicles to drive through uninhibited, unhindered, unfettered. The police will do that for 3 months, and then after that, boom, they leave. And then it goes right back to where it was, to the way it was before. We should move away from that. So, guys, here's the thing. In order for this to work, when I say this, I'm talking about this exercise, this push of having a regulated, more linear, streamlined organization of booths, okay? In order to achieve that, in order to achieve a clean city, by way of making sure that our vendors leave the street and they go into the markets, because the markets is where they belong. If you go to city planning there, all the roads, all the filter lanes, when city planning was coming up with the filter lanes, not one person in those meetings at Lusaka City Council, not one person said, no, filter lane tukabika street vendors. No, nobody ever said that. When they designed filter lanes, when they designed pavements, sidewalks, when they designed main roads, they designed those things for pedestrians to use and for motorists to use. But here's the thing. When they designed the markets, when city planning designed the markets, or at least the public markets, when they designed those markets, guess what? They sat in those markets and they said, they sat in those meetings and they said, yes, these are for street vendors. These are for traders. These markets are for traders. And this is where the traders will operate from. So use a thing for what it's supposed to be used for. You cannot buy, for those of you that love automobiles, and there are many of you, for those of you that love BMWs, for those of you that love Ferraris, you cannot buy a Ferrari and then take it into the field and say you're plowing with the Ferrari. Well, the Ferrari wasn't designed for that. The Ferrari was designed for the open road. The Ferrari was designed to rage and for you to experience its absolute limits. It wasn't designed for you to take into the field and start planting maize. In the same vein, by the same token, our roads were not designed to have traders on there. Let's use our facilities for what they were meant to be used for. So I'm disappointed, Nawakwi. I'm disappointed that you have attempted to politicize this issue. Very, very disappointed. And to quote the words, to quote the line from my friends from Rwanda, and there's another gentleman here from Rwanda, he said the same thing. In order for this to work, the entire government, which includes the opposition also has to say the very same thing. The opposition has to, on this issue, in as far as this issue is concerned, the opposition has to speak the same language. They have to say, we need a linear environment. We need a more streamlined environment. We need a clean environment. We need an environment that functions, that works. Let me tell you, for those of you, and I know it's very common. We have to do this in order for us to sort of give context, because some people get offended when you start talking about other countries. But we are not in America. We are not in Rwanda. This is Lusaka, Zambia. Yes, I understand that. But sometimes, in order to achieve something, you have to look at other people and say, well, if they can do it, why can't we do it? There's a street, for those of you that are familiar, there's a street in London called Regent Street. Have you ever been to Regent Street? Somebody tell me in the comments below if you've been to Regent Street. Huh? Tell me now if you've been to Regent Street. Tell me in the comments and tell me what is indicative of Regent Street. What is the one thing you notice about Regent Street? Tell me. What is the one, when you get to London, England, and you go to Regent Street, what is the one thing you notice about the way people behave on Regent Street? And I was sharing this with my son last night. You know, this is Clara. Hey, Clara. This is the lady that gave us the rakes yesterday. Clara, how are you? Thank you so much once again. I know we thanked you yesterday, but please allow me to thank you again today. Clara, thank you for those rakes yesterday. You did such an amazing job. We're so grateful and so thankful. Thank you. Regent Street. Regent Street. What are you saying? Bo Allen. Nipalu kungu hapa. Oh, really? What are you saying? That it's not far from where you are? Well, let me tell you something about Regent Street. Regent Street is a street where everybody walks in the same direction. If you're going right, everybody's going right. If you're going the opposite direction, if you're going forward, everybody's going forward. If you're going in the opposite direction, everybody's going in the opposite direction. Everybody walks with one accord and one mind. You can't, if you're going forward, you will never find anyone using the forward lane coming this way. Why? Because they know that by doing so, they are delaying the flow of foot traffic. It's very important on Regent Street to keep the road open and clear, because people know that the quicker they can get to where they're going, the more money they can spend. Because that's what commerce is. The economy is when people are spending money. That's when the wheels of the economy are turning. When you walk into a shop, you buy a Coca-Cola, you buy a Fanta, you buy a drink. You walk into a store, you buy a blouse, you buy a pair of slippers. They recognize that you can't obstruct the flow of foot traffic, because the quicker people get to where they're going, the better it is for everybody. Are you getting that? Does that make any sense? Could somebody tell me in the comments below? Are you guys still here? Are you still here? Tell me in the comments. Are you still here? Because you guys are quiet. Yeah. Okay. So that is what we're trying to achieve. And if you listen to the noise on social media, if you're listening to these jokers like Sean Tembo, these jokers like Chilufya Tayali, who have nothing to do apart from rail on Facebook, if you're listening to those jokers, people like Edith Nawakwi, if you're listening to them, then you're wasting your time. Then you're not a progressive. You're not. You are an obstacle. You are an impediment. You, honey, put the B in the word block. Yeah. Listen to progressives. That's the key. Things have changed in this country, I hope you know this. We've come from a history where the notorious Patriotic Front were so used to dishing out so much money that our people became used to the idea of just receiving money for nothing. I mean, are you getting that? Our young people became accustomed to receiving huge, colossal, gargantuan sums of money for doing nothing, for simply shouting, Pabuato, Pabuato, tudera boss walungu, Pabuato. Well, life doesn't work that way. Life dictates that you work for a living in order to make a living. It's like that old Rocky Balboa line, nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything. You owe yourself. You want a living? Work for it. Okay, work for it. Is that clear? And I know somebody's going to bring up a different topic here. They'll start talking about something else, which is that's an entirely different topic. If you're going to bring that up, and I never bring that topic up, but I guarantee you, someone on here is going to bring it up. You know, someone on here is gonna say something foolish and silly. They're going to bring up that I word. You know, we're not talking about that. We're talking about working. You know, all right. Let's talk about for a moment Fred Membe. Can we talk about Fred for a moment? Can we do that? You guys know who Fred is? Hmm? I'm going to give you a brief. Someone's asking me, he says, Mr. Moore, did you help that man? I'll give you a brief about that. He did come through yesterday. I asked him to wait for 5 minutes. I went back out there. Boom, he was gone. And we looked all over Simoson for him, couldn't find him. So I'm hoping he'll come back today. So, and what was interesting is that he showed up at exactly 16 hours. So I said to him, I said, okay, wait for me. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll be with you. And I told him, you can sit in the restaurant. I'll be with you 5 minutes. I went downstairs, boom, he was gone. You know, so I'm hoping he'll show up. You guys don't know who Fred Membe is? Fred Membe is the president of the Socialist Party. Okay, now here's the thing, guys, and this is what chaps my hide about the Socialist Party. Do you guys know what socialism is? Do you know what is socialism? Tell me in the comments below if you know what socialism is. Well, in a nutshell, socialism it's an organization or political party that advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. In other words, a desire to have an equal society. You know, there is no middle class, there's no upper class, everybody's sort of the same. You know, what you have, I have. There's an equal distribution of wealth. Well, what's amazing about this ideology is that Fred Membe himself, the man that leads this party, is not a socialist. He's a capitalist. I mean, he ran the Post for many, many years, and you know, he lived a very opulent lifestyle. I mean, which I'm not knocking that. I mean, the guy worked for it. He worked for it, you know. But at the core, Fred Membe is a capitalist. So it would be very difficult, I think, especially within this context, and then in this Zambian dispensation that we're in, I think it would be very difficult, nay, almost impossible, to communicate this ideology of socialism convincingly when you yourself are not a socialist. You know, it goes back to that old saying, you can't give what you don't have. Ooh, that's a good one. God just put that in my heart. You can't give what you don't have. And I posted it yesterday. I mean, I said it, and I'll say it again. I said, you know, Fred Membe claims to be a socialist, but at the core, at the heart of it, he's a capitalist. It's like a Muslim selling pork. How are you going to do that? How are you going to convincingly sell a product that you don't believe in? You don't believe in that product. If you speak to the average Muslim, if you speak to a devout Muslim, and you ask the devout Muslim, do you eat pork? A devout Muslim will say immediately, no, we don't do that. So wouldn't it be strange? Wouldn't it be odd for you to walk down the street and find a Muslim dressed in a Muslim attire with the whole Muslim attire, and he's standing on the side of the street selling pork? Wouldn't you look twice and say, well, what are you doing, man? It wouldn't compute. So the bottom line is that you can't give what you don't have. Fred Membe is not a socialist. He is the quintessential capitalist. Yes, he is the quintessential, means pure. He is the pure capitalist. It's true. What do you think? What do you think, guys? You want to give me a call? How about you give me a call? How about you guys call me? Can we do this? Yeah? All right, give me a call on this number here. Oh my goodness, if it's there. Oh, great. Now I got to put the number on there. Guys, call me only on WhatsApp. WhatsApp. I'm going to put the plus sign on there. Plus 260-962. Wait a minute. 62 962 491 0. All right, I think that should be it. Isn't that it? You want to call me on that number? How about you call me? Tell me what you think. Please make reference to what we've discussed, okay? If you deviate, I'll guide you, okay? I'll guide you guys. So call me on that number. Let me play you some royalty-free music in the meantime. That way you guys know what we're talking about. Oh my goodness, if I play Michael Jackson up in here. Royalty-free music. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to suss this thing out, you know. Royalty-free. Can we play him? I like that.
Galandanya News Promotion.
Oh. Hello?
Hello?
Hey there.
Hello?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Mr. Wewa, I'm calling you from Yemen.
Yemen?
Yes.
Wow. Where is Yemen? Where is that? Is that in the Middle East?
Middle East, yes.
Wow. Amazing. I've never received a phone call from anyone from Yemen. How's Yemen today?
Yemen is okay. Trying to push,
Wonderful.
Yeah, but I follow your I follow your program.
Thank you so much. Please go ahead, sir. And who am I speaking with?
Yeah, this is the retired Major Francis Pikaonga.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the city. Yeah, I mean, when I come to Zambia, I fully agree with what you said. There is that street from your from where you are right now. That is Lumumba. The next one is what?
There's Lumumba Road. There's Katondo Street. There's Freedom Way. There's Kalusha Walia Road now.
Freedom. There's that road whereby when I was driving there, man, I could not believe it. I was stuck there for almost 2 hours. A distance of 300 meters
Mm.
because things don't just move because of these boats which are there, which
Mm.
are totally unregulated. We shouldn't actually have these things, and then definitely I would agree with you. We should not politicize this filthiness. We just have to speak with one voice and say, "Hey guys, let's remove these things and let's restart. Let's give the council the task of regulating these things. Yes, we need that these boats to be there, but in an orderly manner." And I fully agree with you 100%. We should not actually allow opposition or people with the political mind to start actually telling us what to do. If we have to clean the cities, let's clean it up, and we should speak with one voice. Yes, I mean, I was in Rwanda during genocide, and I can relate with what actually happened and how they've actually attained that level. It's discipline. It's that simple. It is discipline.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel.
Thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Wow, that's somebody from Yemen. Have you guys ever received any call from Yemen? Huh? Do people call you from Yemen? Have you ever been in a conversation and you said to someone, "Hey, you know what? I received a phone call today from Yemen." Huh? Hello?
Hello.
Hey, brother, I can hear you.
Yes, Mr. Moyo. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, speaking to David from Chidawombwe.
Kuchidabombe, Kuchidis.
Kuchiriz.
Mkwaye, please go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to touch on what you were saying when it came to socialism. That does not work. That does not work. And I think Zambians, we should not fall for that.
Tachakabombe yo.
Not work.
Tachakabombe yo
Yes,
socialism muno yo.
Well. Yeah, I think we should not fall for that.
That's right.
Everywhere it has been implemented, it has failed. You go to South America, you go to everywhere. Europe, Eastern Europe, it has failed. It will not work in Zambia. We should not fall for that.
I agree. Thank you, brother.
That's what I wanted to say, sir.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. Na socialism teti bombe. Fidawa mai wana mulenga balandat. It can't work. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, I can hear you loud and clear.
Good morning, sir.
A very good morning to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I couldn't get through. There was too much traffic.
No problem. Who's speaking?
Yeah, you're speaking to Daniel from Mandevo.
Wonderful. Yes, Daniel, go ahead.
Yes, just wanted to make comment on the street vending issue. I think it's just that Zambia's mindset is really not prepared for the change which is coming. We're sort of we're subjected to a certain norm of filthiness and mediocrity. So when this whole sanity and the cleanness and the orderly manner is coming, it's coming as a big chunk in there. I feel like the people are failing to swallow it. So I think it all goes back to leadership. And what you said about consistency. If people are told something today, tomorrow, and days to come, let's say even a year, people will have no choice but to accept it. But if it's done just, let's say 2 months or 3 months, then people will get used to the system, say, okay, I think Bazashta maybe for 3 months, and then after we go back to the streets again. After food, it will be the same thing. It will be rotating on the same thing. It will be sort of a merry-go-round. Won't get anywhere. So I think it just goes back to leadership. We just need someone who can spearhead this same movement, push it until it's all done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. In fact, and I'm so glad he said that, because in fact, let me tell you now, do you know what the word is on the street? The mayor of Lusaka has made it very clear that this is an exercise that will go beyond the AU, okay? This is not just an AU confined exercise. She's made that very clear. But on the street, do you know what they're saying on the street? On the street, they're saying, no, I'm a boots yakabuela nga ba AU baya. That's what the people know on the street. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Samuel.
Hello, please go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Samuel. This is David.
Hey, David, go ahead, Dave. Nice to see you. Nice to hear from you.
Yes, yeah, sure. I'm calling from the Philippines.
From the Philippines?
Yes.
Wow. Yes, do you know where Tacloban is? Tacloban.
Yes, I know.
How far is Tacloban from you?
I haven't been there yet.
How far are you from Tacloban?
It's very far from where I am. I'm in Metro Manila.
Amazing. Have you been to the Jollibee yet? Do you know where the Jollibee is?
Jollibee is everywhere in the Philippines.
Do you eat there?
Yeah, always. And it's amazing. Every Jollibee where you go, you would find rice. They serve rice in Jollibee.
Yeah, I hear it's fantastic. Well, hey, brother, go ahead, please.
Sure. I just want to talk about the issue of boots and, cleaning of streets. If Edith Nawakwi encourage ifiko. If you feel to reform Zambia to alimpa bwino kwebati nga bafunye amabusi yale bakita remove amabusi na siti kambokula munika win. But politicians bambi bale discourage chance on sanage. It's very embarrassing. Nga today unfuat today tamba pama news zero today unfuat politicians bambi bale against the progressive progression in the data government. Tafile unfuika bwino sana.
I agree.
Yeah, sure. So, if you have a minister, but konkanye pofie, abantu bara chura se papeni, but benefit bakesa imona pantanj. So let's work together. Let's change our mindset as Zambians.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, brother. So when do you come back from the Philippines?
I'm still here. Maybe after 2 or 3 years.
Wonderful. Do you like it there? Do you like it over there?
Yeah, it's fantastic, but it's really hot.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, we wish you all the best and, enjoy yourself out there in the Philippines.
Sure, Mr. Will.
God bless. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Great. Well, hey, guys, what are we doing? Hello. Yes.
It's Bo Allen in the UK.
Bo Allen, I see you, girl.
You're well?
I'm fantastic. What about you, Bo? What's going on over there? Are you in England, Bo?
I'm in England and I'm living the dream.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that for you. It's great to see you, Bo. Go ahead, Bo.
Thank you. I have 2 points. One is that ine nalanda mchidemba not sad. Imbombelo uteko. And the way a government works. A government doesn't work on sentiment. I came to realize any government doesn't work on sentiment. So the government looks at things on a large scale. Every citizen counts as far as the government is concerned.
Not just
That's
a
how
few.
a government works. Not just 1, 2, 3 people who are working in booths. It's everyone on a large scale. Number from Nakonde to Luingu to Chirabombe to Chipata, everyone counts. Not just the booth person working in that booth. So people's mindset needs to be changed. But we don't like that on that level when it comes to dealing with the government. Not your perfect, no mbaini chilishan. Second point is, on the government side of things, our government, it's fine, they're trying to clear up everything. We know, make the place look nice and tidy. However, one thing I think what they forgot to do, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking, is that takuwa desensitization before the actual action was taken. They never came around to say, pama TV, pama radio, pama Facebook, pama shani, sensitize abantu ati chintu chireisa, we are coming. Tukesa nama graders, tukesa mkufunyama boots. Please, mindset is the most important thing. Make people aware of what is coming. So that by the time Waisa is anama graders, it's true, they told us. But it's just like it's haphazardly done, where AU conference is starting and then no mbachiriati, hey, graders come in. This is why they came back to the streets and say, what's going to happen to us? You never told us. You never gave us a second option. You never gave us, mwala mivika kusiti market for the time being. Calm down if you're AU. This is the way forward. Sensitization has to be over a long period of time. Mozambique, billboards, TV, movie patala. Everywhere you went, you had this awareness in you. Awareness. That's why Nomba, it's like people are, the condomization. Well, now I'm going off on a tangent.
No, go ahead. I mean,
condomization Nomba become like it's slightly a norm now, but it used to have this stigma attached to it. Mm-hmm. But because of that sensitization and awareness, everywhere the children would sing these songs. So we would sing the songs, condomize, and everything. That's why you know what it meant. But it was every single, wherever you looked, it was there. This is what they needed to do: heavy sensitization, advertising. Telling people, this is what's going to happen. Let's move forward. No one like this. Hey, graders are in. And you're like, what is going on here? So really, it's on both sides. There was no communication, and who are classing themselves as victims, you can't do that. In my eyes, they're free to say we're victims because and the government, on the other hand, didn't do its homework. So it's quite unfair. But if you're Nawakwi, I can't talk about it because I didn't watch it. I haven't heard anything about it.
Okay.
So I'm skipping that part. Now, socialism, I don't quite understand.
Let me just add something to that, Bo Allen. I think you're very right. You're right about that because the government in their own defense, what they will say is, and I agree with you because what they did was inadequate. They will say, well, we sent out a notice, which they did, but a notice is not sensitization. A notice,
exactly.
They did send out a communique. There was a communique stating that, look, the booths are going to be removed at this time, but then that is not adequate. What you're saying, and I agree with, is that you really have to sort of send out a tsunami of information and awareness. However, also, the other flip side to that is, our people are conditioned in such a way that even if you tell our people, do you know the attitude on the street? Even if you tell them, even if you sensitize and you advertise, the attitude on the street, and I know this because I spend time with them, the attitude on the street is, that is the attitude on the street. What we need in Africa, is a benevolent, heavy hand. That's the only thing that works in Africa. Of course, it's different in England and in America, but our people don't get it until you force them to get it. But if you approach it with kitty gloves and I think 6 months from now, this is how we're going to do it. I'm telling you, my people, you're 6 months here. But you're 6 months, guys. The first thing they'll say is, no, but twala quiz. And then you say, but we told you we're going to so what we need.
I agree with what you just said. But who take, you know, the government is the government. It should not be, first of all, it should not be politicized because people don't distinguish. What I've noticed is they don't distinguish the government from the party. The party and
government, yes.
they distinguish the two.
Yeah.
Party is not government.
Yes.
So the government, when it sets these policies and strategies and implement these things, has to stand its ground. The government has to be saying, oh, little government, no, the government doesn't work like that. And I'm saying this like Stambali Chinkasi. And I know these people are different from one country to another. There is one common thing. It works to keep every government for its citizens.
For the citizens.
And when it says we're turning left, everyone has to turn left.
Yes.
No questions asked.
Yes.
Because you can't be like the government says turn left and you say, but then they are straight.
Yeah.
They are straight. Why am I turning left? It doesn't work like that. You are one collective group of people, that country I'm talking,
Yeah.
The government doesn't have to be swayed.
Yeah.
A few people, and we're talking about CBD. CBD is not Zambia.
It's not.
And it's not Zambia. It's just a fraction, a drop in the ocean of people.
Yeah.
So there's no way they can say, okay, pantu CBD valanda states so to ala change strategy. No. You as the government has to be the ones to tell your people I'm a campaign, I'm a party, I'm a elections, for example. The way they printed T-shirts, sweatshirts, if it was everywhere. This is what I'm saying, this is where we are going, this is what we're doing. Exercise books, and carry on. Yes, it might be difficult in the beginning, but give it another year or year and a half, people will be like, yay, it's beautiful. I want to go and work in the CBD. I want to go and work in the town in Freedom Way because it's so beautiful. It's clear. You got bins everywhere. There are no yellow or red, orange boots everywhere. It's just the government has to stand its ground. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Stand your ground, make a plan, run with it. Absolutely. And make sure your people run along with you. No questions asked, because to lead us. We can't be no. It's the government at the end of the day. They have to stand their ground. That's all I'm saying, really.
I agree with you, Bo. Thank you so much. And always great to hear from you. Thank you.
Lovely to speak to you. Thank you so much. Hospital appointment.
Take care.
Wish me well.
Take care. Wishing you well, Bo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bo.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for participating. My internet connection is starting to lose it there. So we're just approaching an hour now. So thank you for watching, guys.